beautiful, bright, radiant lights. Thank you so much for being here with me. My name is Alice. Welcome to Ascension to Love with Alice. Wherever you are watching this video, if it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, thank you for joining me here. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, whatever you feel inspired to do. It's always a joy to read your comments. And I'm really excited for this video because we are looking at the week ahead, right? We're looking at what is coming for us to help us on our ascension process, to help us expand and grow into ourselves even more than we already are. So we're looking from the dates of Monday the 18th of October through to Sunday the 24th. Now in that space of time we have Jupiter, which has gone direct right on the 17th, after being in retrograde for 4 months. The Arcturus Gateway, which is very fortuitous, is that the word? I was trying to say this word before, I was like fortuitous. Fortuitous, I think, is the word. Lucky, there we go. A lot of expansion, a lot of luck, a lot of alignments with Jupiter and Arcturus there. We have Mercury going direct on the 18th, which is the Monday. We've got the moon going full in Aries, which is that instigator sign. It's very fiery, pow energy on the Wednesday, right, on the 20th of October. And then, you know, we go all the way through until the 24th, right at the end of the week, and it's just going to be really interesting to see what is going to come through. We're going to thank the angels, guides, ascended beings of light who are already here with us, the elementals and the fae, whomever is wishing to bring forth the messages and the help and the love today. So thank them for being here as we look at what messages are coming through. So if you haven't yet seen the video that we did on the Jupiter direct on Arcturus going on the Arcturus alignment, do check it out. It's the last video on here before this one. I'll see if I can link it at the end here, but I'm going to start out actually by pulling some goddess cards because I want to see who is supporting us from a goddess level as well. And I'm going to also pull some ascended master cards. So I've got Kali, of course, we've got Kali Ma. So we've got Kali Ma, we've got the fiercest mother of them all. Oh wow, endings and beginnings. She's often depicted to be quite terrifying, Kali Ma, which really is unfair. It's not the case at all. She is the that mother energy who will literally sit in that darkness, the pit of despair with you, just kind of helping you rebirth yourself when you can't see, when you feel like you have that blindfold on you. What is going on? She helps you release anything that doesn't serve. She helps you cut away the ego, right? That ego death. She literally will help you destroy that, whatever is ready to go, so that you can rebuild, so that you can release and rebirth. And that's a beautiful theme because we have been going through that endings and beginnings. We have been going through that birth canal, and you know, for many people last week, the end of last week, Thursday, Friday, was really tough for so many people. You know, we were faced with so many shadows, and you know, it's whether we can surrender to that and just have faith and trust that, you know, it's okay to see, it's okay to witness, right? And it's okay to go through, you know, that portal, because when we do, we create such space to bring more of our oversoul down, right? To bring more of that higher self down into us and expand us even further. You know, it then becomes a very, very fertile time. We have Ostara coming in here, right? With that fertility, and it's really interesting because, you know, this very much is the start of the week. It's a very fertile space and time, you know. It's with the planets, with Mercury and Jupiter having, and also Pluto and Saturn the week before, having gone direct now, although they're still in their shadow phase, you know, it's a very wonderful time to actually start projects, to actually start going outwards in your energy, in the energy momentum, right? You know, new dynamics, new beliefs, like you've released. It's as though you've released whatever mental patterns specifically as well. And this came up in the Arcturus reading, but it's like beliefs have been released that have been limiting us with all that retrograde introspection. And now it's time to actually, you know, outwardly plant the seeds and create with that energy, right? You know, it's a really wonderful time. I'm just going to move this microphone up a little bit. It's like slowly making its way down as my scarf moves. But let's see, one more final card here for this week from the goddesses. Let's see. And it's interesting because, you know, that Ostara energy, that fertility, is usually it's a new moon energy, right? But what's really interesting is that, you know, that comes in around the full moon date. You know, the way that these cards are actually showing up here, it's like it's coming through around when the full moon is, and normally the full moon is when we kind of harvest everything that we've everything that we've planted in the new moon, right? You know, it's kind of when we it's like the peak of our manifestation for that lunar cycle. And what's really interesting is that it's showing us a double kind of whammy here. It's like, you know, not only are you going to be kind of harvesting around that time everything that you've been planted, but also you are going to be straight away planting new seeds, right? Because it's as though the harvest is really going to be nourishing new creation, whatever you've been birthing through this time. So I think that's a really fascinating message to come through from Ostara there. And just one more card, please, beautiful goddesses. Isis, of course, Isis is coming in with that past life energy. You know, she brings in such magic and alchemy and transformation and wisdom, and you know, and there may very well be with this full moon energy as well, going into the end of the week, there may very well be once again that kind of like that squeezing through the birthing canal to actually kind of shed even more of the ego, right? Shed even more past life trauma, fall of Atlantis trauma, ancient Egypt trauma, kind of anything related to your sovereignty is what I'm seeing with all this purple energy as well showing up in the cards, right? All this purple energy is very much linked to your sovereignty, your independence, and whether or not you have to, you know, be obligated to anyone else, right? Whether that is another person, a friend, a family member, you know, subject to someone else's opinions, right? Whether we're allowing that validation to come from outside of us, right? And whether we feel like we have to be obligated to another, for example, governing body, right? Because there is a lot coming up right now, a lot being spoken about, a lot being realized, a lot of truth coming out about, for example, legal fiction and law, right? Actual law, and a lot of people learning about that as well. So I find that really fascinating, and that's going to be a big theme, I think, especially by the end of the week, especially with the full moon. I'm going to pull out some Ascended Master cards as well. Really feeling the Ascended beings today. So let's see if there's any extra messages from these beauties as well. We've got Pravati coming in with positive change. That's that wheel. And what's really interesting, that's a similar theme to what actually came up in the Jupiter Arcturus reading, was because we had the wheel come out, right? So there is things shifting and changing and cycles turning. And what's really interesting is that time is not linear, it is circular, right? It is spirals, you know, and it kind of like we get to the same point every time around this time of year between the 10-10 portal, 11-11 portal. And I'm just going to say right now, guys, it's a really powerful time to have facilitated for you any quantum healing, any Akashic record work, past life regression, things like that. It's a very powerful time to actually go into that, especially with Isis coming in with that past life energy. So if that calls to you, working in the Akashic records, bringing more of your higher self down and clearing old timelines and old karma, please feel very welcome to reach out to me via email or go on my website to have a look at the sessions that I have to offer. It's always an honor to help there. And look, we have this coming out of the closet energy. It's like things that have been hidden are going to be revealed this week, right? We're really getting that. And I find it fascinating how all this energy is feminine energy coming out as well. I was expecting to have some masculine energy come out with these cards. Oh, there we go, St. Francis. so he heard us. But yeah, it's a revelation energy is coming through. There's lots of revelation energy, and on the bottom of the deck is Horus, and I find that fascinating because that card came out, that was the last card that came out in the last reading as well. So with Horus coming in, that's that Christed energy, that full moon energy. It looks like a smiley face, look at that. But that boat going full steam ahead, you know, going down the stream, down the river, following the thread, following the path, following, like St. Francis says, your heart, right? You know, the heart always leads the way. It's the compass, right? The heart helps us discern. That's how we discern what is right, what is wrong, what is aligned for us, what is not aligned for us. How we realize what is that we actually really desire and what we really want to manifest, what our soul is wanting to manifest, what our higher self is wanting to manifest with us, right? You know, is by tuning into the heart, you know, allowing that to burst out. And it's really fascinating with Amaterasu here coming in, because you know, she really is going to help reveal a lot, right? That's been hidden, and there's a lot been hidden, but not just recently, right? Not just in recent years, in, you know, the past millennia, since the fall of Atlantis, the last fall, right? And even before then, because, you know, Atlantis was localized, right? It wasn't global. And it's just really interesting. So I'm going to pull some cards from dragons here. I want to see what support we have in clearing that energy. So let's have a little look. And then we're going to pull some cards for the moon as well, for the full moon in the middle of the week. So do stay tuned for that as well. But let's have a little look here. What help do we have from the dragons, the benevolent dragons here? We've got the black dragon. I knew that was going to come out. We have the black dragon cocooning you, allowing you to nurture yourself and grow. And what was that first message that we got with Ostara, right? It's like the abundance from the full moon that is coming in, what the harvest that you're kind of reaping, that you're kind of collecting, it's going to be nourishing. And look, that's kind of like what's happening here. You're in this little bubble cocooning you so that you can grow, so that you can achieve your potential, so that you can expand through that. You know, there is a theme of meditation, reflection, still that inwards energy, which is really interesting because Jupiter and Mercury have gone direct by this point, but like I say, there is that shadow phase where there's that overlap of energy, right? And when you have that overlap of energy, you know, it's still kind of like gaining momentum, right? Mercury and Jupiter are just starting to go forward, right? They're not really full steam ahead yet. So it's really interesting because, you know, we are still in that chrysalis, that cocoon, you know, still undergoing that metamorphosis, and allow it, you know, allow yourself the time to rest when you need to, right? Make sure the space is suitable for it, clear the energy, open the window, let the air move through. How many times do you need to hear that, right? One more time, turn off social media, turn off the TV. If you've stopped listening to the news and you've stopped watching TV, great, but if you've switched to social media and you've got people on there that are still spouting the same divisive messages, it's no better than watching mainstream. You've just switched from one side of the pendulum to the other side, right? And that's really important because like so many of us kind of mistake that, right? We tune into these people that are making change or seeming to make change, but it's actually just the other side of the coin. We want to get to a neutral place, right? That's how we really start to master our alchemy. And I actually did a video on that a few days back on polarity, the principle of polarity, because if you've switched from mainstream media, turned all that off, but then you're on social media or Telegram chats where there's a lot of that kind of still that divisive energy, when it's not kind of, you know, if it's still got an argument, then it literally is just the other side of the coin. You've just switched from one side of the pendulum to the other, right? And we want to get to the space of it being neutral, right? Because we might need to be following those people for triggers, right? But we need to get to that side of the, we need to get to the central point where there is no swing of the pendulum, where it's neutral. And then when it's neutral, we can really create an incredible space there. I also have the dusky pink dragon. I love the wording. The dusky pink dragon from Andromeda coming in here. And this is about higher love. Look at that. You know, sing some music this week. Put music on. What are you listening to? Get some music going and just let that vibrate through your body, you know. Get a kalimba, one of those really cute instruments or something, you know. But anyway, no, joking aside, you know, it is good to take things a little bit lighter hearted, because when things get difficult, we need to be lighthearted about it, because if we go too serious, that's not why we're here, you know. Yes, we're here to grow and expand. Yes, we have to rebirth to do that. Yes, we have to shed ego to do that, and we have to face our shadows to do that. But at the same time, go easy on yourself, right? You know, because if you won't, who else will, right? And if you don't feel like you can, if you feel like you do need to, you know, be a little bit tougher on yourself, where did you learn that? Right? What part of the inner child needs reclaiming for that? Because that's trauma. That's a trauma wound, right? But we have this higher love energy coming in. So this card jumped out of the deck when I was talking about divisiveness, right? Regardless as to what side it's on. That's the fourth dimension all over, right? It's like one, it's, you know, it's one or the other. It's not unity. It's not kind of accepting and loving and seeing that everyone has their own unique truth. That truth doesn't have to be your truth, but it shouldn't and doesn't stop us loving, right? And the higher love, the unconditional love that comes in, comes from a non-judgment place, right? And when we're in a non-judgment place, like, we kind of have to start practicing that firstly with ourselves, because as within, so without. Only once we have started to witness ourselves without judgment are we able to then hold that space for others, right? Hold that light within us consistently. Like, be that higher love, be that unconditional love, you know, and then you're able to touch people with that, you know, really help people with that level of unconditional love. But if you're not showing it to yourself, you're not going to be in integrity, right? You know, you're going to feel that within yourself, and it's just, you know, it's felt within yourself, right? It blocks us, right? So we've got to get really, really open and honest here. But look at this, we have the Emerald Dragon coming out here, helping us with healing and helping us with abundance. So with the messages that those two dragons before just brought out about cocooning, going in, bringing it in, putting the mirrors around you, facing them inwards, you know, and letting yourself find that love for yourself. Look at what comes through. Emerald Dragon, abundance, divine abundance, right? Unlimited resources, you know, unlimited health, right? Perfection in your health, you know, good fortune. Once again, that good fortune energy, that Jupiter direct Arcturus Gateway energy is good fortune, you know. And letting the thoughts that have been sabotaging us release, because this is the thing as well, is that, you know, with this space and time, especially with Mercury kind of just going direct and now being in the shadow phase of going direct after being in retrograde, you know, we are still kind of cleaning up our thought patterns and just kind of noticing when we've had a belief that doesn't serve us, right? And, you know, that can show up in many ways, that self-sabotage can show up in many ways, you know? And no more time for that. Like, we all ask for abundance, we all ask for freedom, we all ask for joy, bliss, love, that family, those friends, you know, we all ask for that. Every single day our soul asks for that, right? The only difference, the only thing stopping us actually getting that is whether we are going to choose on the lower body levels. So that's not from the higher self, because the higher self already has that, all of that. But on the soul level, you're going to do the past life retrieval, you're going to do the karma balancing. On a mental level, you're going to notice the thought patterns, you're going to allow them to alchemize and to transmute. On the emotional level, you're going to allow the emotions to show you where the mental is not aligned with the spiritual, you know, when you're not in alignment with yourself, right? You're going to release that, you're going to let that block, right? Once again, go back to the videos that I've done recently in the Lightworker series, right? You know, the physical body, you're going to move it, you're going to let that energy release once you have cleared it out the other bodies, because we have to do that as well, right? And, you know, such abundance is waiting for us from this week. Like, by the end of it, it's pow, right? You know, we've got so much support from the other constellations. I've got Sirius dragon coming in here. We've got Archangel Gabriel's dragon coming in here. A lot of really powerful energy. The Pleiades, blue rose, right? So all this really, Pleiades have got such a gentle healing approach as well. The Arcturians and Pleiadians actually, we do a really incredible remote healing, like a light body tune-up and ascension symptom rebalancing, recalibration. And it's a fully remote healing session, but it's facilitated by the Pleiadians and the Arcturians, which channel through me, and it's such a powerful session. And I always love when I can feel the Pleiadians nearby, or when I've been working with them, because they're so gentle and so loving. It's just so beautiful, very Hathor energy as well, I find. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of really wonderful stellar, right, cosmic support, especially this week. So it makes me wonder, is there something extra special happening this week? And I'm just going to have a little look with the moon cards, the Queen of the Moon Oracle here. And I just want to pull a couple of cards for the full moon, because I feel it might be in relation to that. So let's have a little look, and then we'll pull a final guidance card to kind of bid you all farewell and best of luck. And I just want to take this moment to say as well, if you are not yet a part of our Facebook community, our Facebook group, the Isis Dream Temple, where magic meets mystery, please feel very welcome to join it, because we do live card readings every Wednesday, and they are super fun and just a really good way to just get that little bit of guidance that you might need. And with it being a full moon as well, it might be a little bit extra powerful. So that's always in the evening UK time. So let's see, this full moon, what do we have to know? What's important for us to know? How can we really work with that energy here? Oh, that purity coming in again. Wow. Patience. One more. I always kind of like to get all the cards in one go. Okay. Whew, 3 cards. We have purity with that snow moon. Look at that. The number 30 coming in here as well. Look at her eyes are covered. But it's this purity, this whiteness, this virginal energy. And virgin doesn't mean what we think it means. It means purity, right? It means the level of light that you have within you, right? You know, the openness of your heart space, the ability to be that channel of divine light, right? That's what purity is. That's what virginal is. You know, it's nothing to do with the number of whether you've had a partner or not. But what's really interesting here is that this is the snow moon, right? And it's like, so it's bringing through that kind of like that frosty energy to kind of cool things down a little bit, which is really interesting because it's a fire moon. It's probably one of the fieriest, most kind of like moons out there. Is the Aries full moon. So I find it really fascinating that it's like the fire is going to be burning through to such a level of purity. of Christ-light coming in with that, because, you know, with this white energy, you know, you get a lot of that Christ-light energy because snow is water, right? Frozen water. But it's kind of like cooling, removing the heat out of it. So it's kind of like that, the fire energy of the full moon is going to burn itself to a point of just of purity, of restart, right? So that's what I'm hearing. But I'm seeing as well, we've got this, look at these. Are these all full moons? No. So the first two are full moons, which I think is very powerful to get 2 cards out of full moon cards. But we've got patience here with a green corn moon, card number 36, right? So look at that once again, you know, kind of, it's like that one red balloon that's out of that song, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you have 99 red balloons. It's like, where's the 100th? there it is. There's the 100th balloon. But no, have patience, right? Really take the time. And this is a reoccurring message right now. Take the time, especially this week, to rest, to walk, to be outside, to receive, be in your feminine energy, right? We've been too caught up in the masculine energy recently. We need to be a little bit more in our feminine energy, because that's why we receive everything. Abundance, healing, all of that. Messages, guidance, direction comes through the feminine energy. We receive it, we magnetize it, right? But it is time to have patience right now. And also find the joy, you know, don't take life too seriously, you know. Really relax a little bit, you know. And the Arcturians will be the first stellar system to say that. But then we also have as well acceptance. So why I find this is interesting coming out with the full moon energy when I'm asking about the full moon is that, you know, we have this purity card first, right? Seeing things that have not been seen before, purifying that energy, burning it through, cleansing it. And then we have patience, because everything doesn't happen like that. Instant gratification doesn't happen like that. We have to be patient. We have to be patient. And look, I find it funny that that is actually a red balloon, right? That red, Aries to me is very red sign. Then we have this acceptance card coming in, and it's as though the division, and it's fascinating because I went off on one a little bit about divisiveness on this video, unintentionally, but it kind of happened. And then this card is like one of the last cards that we pull, which is acceptance. It's like coming together of polarities. That's powerful, because that's when you start to bring opposites together to a neutral place. That's when you're starting to master the laws of the universe. That's when you start to understand them, the principles, right? The hermetic principles, like the principle of polarity. When we move from either one side of the coin or the other side of the coin, or whichever way the pendulum's swinging, and we bring it neutral, centralized, right? Union, unity, you know? Wow, yeah. Are you able to then really co-create what it is that you desire? And any patterns that have been, they don't have the hold that they used to, right? Because when something is neutral, we can influence it either way. Just it doesn't have an automatic, I'm going to go this way type of thing. So to have this card and the Emerald Dragon card, I find really interesting. So yeah. Could be a very good week by the end of the week as well for cryptocurrencies, for bringing in unexpected fiat currencies, money and things like that, you know, kind of those types of things. So that'll be interesting to look out for. But I am going to pull one final card here. I'm going to just cut the goddess deck, I think. One final card just to bid you all farewell. And like I say, if you are wanting to really get ahead of your ascension and just get really clear, we have angelic guidance sessions, right? 30 minutes, 60 minutes. We even have shorter recorded sessions available. If you really do want to clear though and do some really fantastic, powerful healing, like quantum Akashic record healing and karma balancing and things like that, the Akashic sessions, the quantum sessions are the way to go. And I even have a new offering, a priestess initiation, which are incredibly powerful. They come with a light activation as well. You can either book them singular or in a 3. When you book them at 3, you get a discount. And then we work with the lunar energies as well to maximize on those sessions. But they're incredibly powerful, incredibly moving, and yeah, I feel honoured to facilitate those. But let's have a look at one final guidance card before we part ways today. Prosperity. Look at that. Abundance codes coming in left, right and centre. Wow. Be open to receive. Receiving is the feminine energy. It's like literally like the universe can be your sugar daddy if you want it. I know that's a weird word to use, but that's the word that they're giving me right now. It's like the universe is providing to you constantly. It's all there. We literally just have to say, thank you for showing me love in this way, universe. I receive, I accept. And we do that. People say, how do we receive? We receive by showing ourselves that love. That's how we do it. By taking that time to rest, by taking that time to break, to, you know, to treat ourselves, whatever we need. Right? And where we're all lacking, we are lacking in how we, you know, what we surround ourselves by. Are we letting ourselves rest in a clean environment, right? Or are we on social media all the time? It's a big one. And even if you are on social media for whatever reason, who's on that? What are you seeing? Because things are popping in everywhere, but there's so much abundance wanting to drop in. It's there, it's ready, it's waiting. Open your arms, open your heart, like St. Francis said, follow your heart, open your heart, right? It's all there. If you feel like there is a block, reach out and we'll get a session booked in. Okay. Send you so much love, so many blessings. Thank you for watching, and thank you for commenting, liking, and sharing, subscribing. See you next time.